Hello again. Biozombie is a comedic zombie movie from 1998. But first, enjoy this trailer.
Get out!
Oh yeah, you get out!
You go, I go!
You go, I go!
I go, you go!
Fine! We'll stay!
We'll stay! There's a monster inside the men's toilet! It's some kind of a creature! I don't know how to describe it!
Why is your vehicle parked in the middle of the road?
It's my friend. He's had a little too much to drink.
Yeah.
Before we get started, spoiler alert. Biozombie takes place in Hong Kong in a mall. The movie begins with our two unlikely heroes, Woody Invincible and Crazy Bee. They're on their way to work in a small store where they sell bootleg VCDs. Along the way they meet Jelly and Rolls, two women that work in the same mall in a beauty salon. They've just left the sushi restaurant where Lloyd, the sushi chef, has been flirting unsuccessfully with Rolls. He even offered her coupons. What a catch. At the VCD store, a customer complains about the quality of his purchase. Woody and Bee rough him up a bit, give him a couple of free adult films, and rush him out the door. Just then, they get a call from the boss. He sends them on an errand to pick up his car from the mechanic. They're barely there a couple of minutes and they already have all the mechanics ready to beat the crap out of them. Moments later, they're nearly ran over by a white car speeding down the road. Fast forward to an hour later and it's getting dark and we see where the white car was going. Two agents and their boss get out. They're meeting some Iraqis to buy bioweaponry. A chemical weapon inconspicuously concealed in a soda bottle turns any drinker of it into a zombie. The Iraqis have a presentation for them also though. Gee, I wonder what it could be. A large container? About human size? Huh. The large container they open holds a chained up zombie! But the demonstration goes awry, shocker, and only one agent gets out alive with the toxic soda. As he's running from the scene, he darts into the road and is promptly hit by Woody and Bee, denting the boss's car. Worried that they've killed the guy, they go to check on him. Mumbling incoherently, Bee misunderstands the agent and believes he wants something to drink. So he gives him some of the toxic soda and the agent passes out. A cop approaches them on a motorcycle, quickly thinking they pull a weekend at Bernie's and narrowly escape an incident with the law. After the cop leaves, they toss the agent into the trunk, the soda into the car, and drive back to the mall. As they pull into the parking garage under the mall, they damage the car further. Getting out, they're immediately assaulted with spit from the unsatisfied customer from earlier. After roughing him up again, they go back to the store and play House of the Dead. A bit later, they realize they forgot something. That poor schmuck they ran over earlier and tossed into the trunk. Whoopsie. As they head back to the car, the boss calls and wants them to bring his car. When they get to the car, however, the body's gone and in its place is some kind of filth left by the zombie's metamorphosis. They assume the agent messed up the trunk as payback for being ran over. They're startled by a mall patrol cop, then by a ringing sound. The ringing is coming from a cell phone the agent dropped earlier. Worried about the mess the agent left in their boss's trunk, they decide to sell the cell phone to a guy in the mall. Kui shortchanges them though, and they're left still needing cash. Being the upright, morally stable citizens that they are, they decide to mug someone. That someone is Rolls. They're careful not to let her see their faces, and take her money and diamond ring while she's in the ladies' room. But she's suspicious after leaving the bathroom and running into Woody immediately. He's acting really nervous. She wants to trick him into confessing, so she offers to take him and Bee to dinner if they'll help her catch whoever mugged her. He agrees. She figures if she can get him drunk enough, he'll slip up. Later, at the sushi restaurant, the four of them are all having a good time. Jelly came also. Sushi chef Loy is noticeably jealous over Rolls. Back in the parking garage, Mall Patrol is making his rounds. He quickly finds a situation he wasn't trained for. At the sushi place, everyone is nice and toasted. Bee has his Game Boy out, snapping pictures with the camera attachment. Rolls excuses herself to go pee, and Woody follows a minute later. He starts coming on to her. She, in return, is telling him, "Ew, you're disgusting, you're slimy, you stole my ring." All of these things he casually says, "Yes, I know," to as he's trying to score. Just then, after basically confessing, she pukes on him. In another part of the mall, the zombie agent shambles past the used cell phone store, notices his cell phone in the window, and breaks through to retrieve it. Now's a good time to mention the zombies in this flick. They range in intelligence, speed, and hunger. If a zombie is focused on something else, it may not bite the person right in front of it. By the way, the zombie doesn't use the phone, only recognizes it from its former life and takes it back. Meanwhile, Loy notices that Rolls is gone and goes looking for her. Walking past the women's bathroom, he hears passionate sounds coming from Woody and Rolls inside. Upset, he runs into the men's bathroom to cry. After getting it all out, he begins to leave. But bad timing walks him right into the zombie agent, who attacks him. After getting bitten, Lloyd ditches the zombie in one of the stalls and runs to the women's room to get help from Rolls. Woody and Rolls are making their way around the bases but are interrupted. Loy is holding his bleeding neck wound and frantic about monsters in the men's room. Reluctantly, Woody and Rolls go to check it out. In the men's room, they find nothing but Bee, who is taking a deuce. It's funny though. As they're doing all this, they seem to have sobered up really quickly. Oh well. Rolls and Jelly take Loy back to the beauty shop to bandage him up while Woody and Bee go back to the bootleg VCD store. Woody mentions how he could do with some sleep, and Bee agrees. They're about to leave when Kui confronts them about his store being burglarized. At the beauty shop, Loy turns full Z and attacks a random beauty shop employee, Cindy. He moves towards Rolls and we cut back to Kui, Woody, and Bee at the cell phone store. He blames them and threatens to call his gang to rough them up, but no one will come because he never pays them. Just then, Ox, a large mall patrol cop, walks up and tells them he called the real police because of the break-in. Nobody wants to deal with the actual police though and lie about what's going on. Kui blames it on his wife, she's hot by the way, and she goes along with it. They all four walk off in separate directions, leaving Ox standing there. Woody and Bee encounter zombie Loy acting weird. He doesn't attack them, he just stands there with a head-sized package in his arms. They leave him there, thoroughly creeped out. Zombie Loy brings the package with him to the beauty shop to get Rolls. What's in the box? No, this is not the movie 7, it's not what you think. It's a Precious Moments ornament. Aw, what a thoughtful zombie. Woody and Bee are just about to leave the mall when they see Kui right at the exit being questioned by 2 police officers. Spotting the two, the police call them over and begin questioning them also. Not satisfied by the answers they receive, the cops take everyone back to the mall security office to review the security cam footage. After watching the tape and seeing the encounter with Zombie Loy, the police believe Woody and Bee have to be guilty of something and handcuff each one in the security office while the rest of the investigation continues. Finding drugs on Woody, he and Bee immediately go into self-defense mode in the form of lying their pants off, explaining that they don't know where the drugs came from because they were going to donate time visiting the elderly and such. On the security cam, one of the police sees Loy carrying Rolls in his arms and sends the other officer to check it out. Loy is approached by the police just as he's inside the sushi place and dropping Rolls attacks him. As this is going on, the zombie agent wanders into the security office, kills Ox, and mortally wounds the last policeman. Before the zombie can finish him off though, Bee realizes what's going on from their video game earlier and tells the police to aim for the head. He takes out the zombie, but his wounds are too bad and he falls dead also. Faced with this intense situation, Bee starts trying to reach Ox's pocket, where the handcuff key is. Meanwhile, at the sushi place, Zombie Loy is still trying to flirt with Rolls. A close-up shows exactly how inadequate the budget was for zombie makeup in this movie. $10 at the Chinese Walmart isn't enough for a whole movie. Back at the security office, Ox is about to reanimate and it's a race against time for Bee and Woody. Bee gets the key and is unlocked, but before Woody can do the same, Ox rises and the two have to escape. Handcuffed to a large computer monitor, Woody and Bee run from the security office. Running past Kui and his wife, Woody yells, "Run, zombies!" But Kui doesn't believe him. His wife tries to tell him that there may be something wrong, but Kui's a jerk and never listens to her. Nearing the mall exit, Woody and Bee see Jelly walking in from her break. They tell her to go back out. Meanwhile, Zombie Ox in the security office remotely activates the security shutters, closing off the mall and parking garage from escape. By the time Jelly and the boys get back to the exit, it's too late. But that's not all. Next, Ox shuts down the escalators and all but the dim emergency lights. Zombies start popping up and the three run for their lives. Walking down the darkened hall, Kui and his wife go to take the elevator down to the parking garage, to Mrs. Kui's protest. Taking the elevator anyway, they narrowly escape a zombie encounter at the garage and barely get back on the elevator without injury. Woody and the other two are running down the hallway and almost run smack dab into Kui and his wife. From there, they try for someplace safe and find the other policeman's body in the hall. Bee tries to fish the handcuff key out of the dead cop's pocket, but is startled by Mrs. Kui's squeal. She's extremely jumpy. The key falls into the corpse's mouth. Fortunately, Bee is smart and uses his knife to prop the mouth open and retrieve the key. He tosses it to Woody just as the policeman reanimates. As Bee's fighting, Woody unlocks his cuff and bashes the zombie with the monitor. More Z-heads show up and they run back to the beauty shop to escape. Locking the door behind them, they begin wondering where Rolls, Loy, and Cindy are. They believe that Loy and the girls are together, until Cindy's dead body is found in the back of the store. Deducing that she'll probably turn Z soon, it's suggested that they get the body away from the store. Woody and Bee take her down the hall a little way and head back. Kui was too chicken to help. While they're gone, zombies begin to gather near the store, so Kui closes the door and locks it. In the hall, Woody and Bee fight off the zombies. Woody grabs the zombie cop's gun and blows away a zombie trying to attack Bee. Woody demands entry and Kui complies. Woody tells Kui to call the police, but the lines are down. Mrs. Kui remembers the working phones in their shop and Woody prepares to take the trip. Kui tosses the keys to Woody because he's too much of a coward to come along. In the sushi place, zombies start taking notice of Rolls and Lloyd tries to dissuade them with sushi. It works for a moment, then they get unruly. Fortunately, Woody happens along and takes them out. Burning with zombie anger and jealousy, Loy attacks Woody, but Rolls saves Woody and they escape, leaving Loy behind. In the beauty shop, everyone is feeling hungry. Jelly remembers they have noodles in the back, and Kui barks orders for Mrs. Kui to go get them. If a zombie doesn't bite Kui soon, I swear. Mrs. Kui returns with the noodles and hands them out. Jelly gets some, she and Bee get shrimp flavor, and Mr. Kui gets pork. Kui throws a tantrum and slams his noodles down because his wife gave Bee shrimp flavor instead of him. So to quiet him down, she hands Kui her own noodles. He takes them and begins eating. Being the guy that he is, Bee hands Mrs. Kui his own noodles to eat. Mr. Kui then slams the noodles down again because he thought his wife was going to eat Bee's noodles and was jealous. Meanwhile, Woody and Rolls make it to Kui's cell phone shop, but it's surrounded by zombies. They quickly run into a small side room and close the door, narrowly evading detection. The two are growing closer with all the peril they've faced recently, and in this moment, he goes to wipe a smudge from her cheek with his handkerchief. But when he pulls it from his pocket, the ring falls out too! The moment seems to stretch longer than normal. Then finally she says, "You found my ring," playing dumb, and asks him to hang on to it for her. A few moments later, at the beauty shop, Woody and Rolls return. Since they weren't able to call the police, a plan must be made. Kui wants to stay put, but everyone else wants to try to make it out. Mrs. Kui is undecided. Bee says to her, "We should all go together." Mrs. Kui has been growing fond of Bee and joins the others standing. Mr. Kui stands also and begins acting jealous again, but a zombie bursts in through the window and grabs him. You know, I thought, finally, this guy's toast. But no, of course not. The others spring into action, save the worthless wretch's life, and they all run from the shop. They get to the elevator and all six enter, but the elevator won't close. It's overweight. A zombie is walking toward the elevator, and they don't know what to do. Suddenly, Kui pushes Jelly out of the elevator and the doors close. What a jerk! Frantically pressing the open button, it seems to take forever, and by the time the doors reopen, she and the zombie are gone. Everyone runs to help her except for Kui. Mrs. Kui is going also, but Kui begs her to stay with him. She pauses for a moment, then slaps the tar out of him. She joins the others, but it's too late for poor Jelly. She screams weakly as a zombie is chomping down on her. Meanwhile, Koi reaches the parking garage, but can't get past the zombies, so he squeezes behind a soda machine to hide. Woody and the others prepare to escape the Mall of Death, and the movie becomes a video game, showing each of the survivors' stats and weapons. Nice touch. Woody, Rolls, B, Mrs. Koi, and Koi. Then they go on a zombie killing spree. As this is going on, a zombie has wandered over to the soda machine next to Koi. It begins banging on it and shaking it to get a soda out, squishing Koi a little in the process. A few moments pass, and suddenly Mrs. Koi has gotten separated from the group. Finding herself near the soda machines where Mr. Koi is and quickly attracting unwanted attention, one zombie grabs her leg and another is closing in. She screams. Mr. Koi finally does something right and goes to save her, but it's too late. The zombies bite him and Mrs. Koi, dragging them to the ground.
Mrs. Koi, no!
B then catches up to Mrs. Koi and tries to knock the zombies away. He's distraught over her, and then he gets bitten also.
B, no!
The other two show up and pull B from Mrs. Koi's side. They get on the elevator and quickly find that B's fading fast. They make their way to the security office but find that the shutters locking them in need a key to operate. The gun lying on the floor needs ammo, and the cell phone they can use to call for help isn't charged. B is close to death now. The other two are close to him as he's fading fast. Besides getting bitten by a zombie and losing the hot chick he was after, it's also his birthday. He asks them for one last favor. If they could take his picture with his Game Boy for his funeral after all this is over. They step away. Woody prepares to take the shot, and suddenly, B is snatched out of the window which was directly behind him into the adjoining room. It's Zombie Ox. He has B over his head and breaks his back over his knee. Woody leaps into Ox, punching the daylights out of him. He tells Rolls to run, but Ox throws Woody off and goes after her. Woody rebounds quickly and uses B's knife to cut off Ox's head. After that, he does one more thing for B. He makes sure he won't reanimate. Woody and Rolls go to the parking garage and are faced with a horde of zombies. They launch into the fight of their lives. Woody is distracted momentarily after imagining B is there, but Rolls' scream snaps him back into reality and he saves her. Quickly, he tells her to run to his boss's car. He continues to fight so he can join her. She starts up the car and runs over the last zombie coming after him. He climbs in and they head to the exit. The shutters are down though. What can they do? Ram it, he says. She floors it, but stops a second later. It seems as though Zombie Loy is blocking the way. Really? The other zombies are getting close. Woody tells her to go anyway.
Ram it.
But then they notice what Zombie Loy is doing. He's using supernatural zombie strength, which he didn't have before, to lift the shutter door so that they can escape. Good, now they can escape, right? Nope, the car is stalled. The zombies are now trying to grab them through the windows. This could be the end. But look, Zombie Loy is push starting the car. They escape from the Mall of Death. Hooray! Pulling up to a gas station, Woody tries to use the payphone, but it's dead. Walking over to the store, there's an emergency broadcast on inside.
All survivors should attempt to hide themselves in a secure place away from any zombies. Do not drink any soft drinks as they may be contaminated with a biochemical substance.
He turns back towards the car and discovers the worst. Rolls has mistakenly drank some of the toxic soda from earlier. Defeated, he walks back to the car. She asks him if he got the police or anything. He just sits down, ponders the situation momentarily, and takes a swig from the soda also. Pretty dark end for a movie that's been comedy for 90% of it. Oh well. Overall, not a bad film. Could have done with a little higher makeup budget, especially with the close-ups. In the end, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely rewatchable. That's all until next time. This has been Xylestos with the wide world of zombie movies, reminding you to be safe, be smart, be ready.